A very good morning, dear children. I hope you all are fine and safe with your family. Students, today in geography, we will be learning a new lesson which is called as air pressure, which is lesson number 4. Students, when we go to market, we purchase different things. We purchase tomatoes, we purchase potatoes. Okay, so when we purchase, it all has weight. Okay, so when we measure it in the weighing machine, we come to know its weight. Similarly, students, air also has weight. Okay, so now we will come to know in the given diagram. Students, in this diagram, in the first line we see two balloons are there. It is evenly inflated balloon. In the second line, student, if you see, the first balloon is filled balloon and the second one is pierced balloon. Means when we pricked the balloon, it becomes pierced. Okay, so what happens after this? Whatever the air is there inside, it comes out and it becomes the flat balloon. So what it shows that? It shows that air also has weight. Okay, moving ahead. Anything that has weight exerts pressure on the things that lie below it. Okay, students, so what it means? Whichever thing has weight, it exerts pressure. Exerts pressure means what, student? It apply pressure, okay, on the things that lie below it. Thus, the air in the atmosphere exerts pressure on the surface of the earth. So what happened? Because it has weight, what happens? Because it has weight, so the air in the atmosphere, it applies the pressure on the surface of the earth. Due to this air pressure, various phenomena like storms, precipitation, etc. occurs in the atmosphere. So because of this air pressure, what happens? Various phenomena take place. Which all phenomenon? It looks like storms, we can also say precipitation, etc. occurs in the atmosphere. Okay, students, so what is precipitation? It is any liquid or frozen water that forms in the atmosphere and falls back to the earth. Okay, it comes in many forms, like it comes in the form of rain, it comes in the form of sleet, it comes in the form of snow also. Okay, students, here you can see the image of storms. You can also see the image of precipitation. Okay, student, you can see the images also have been given like rain, snow, sleet, hail, etc. So what is sleet, student? Sleet means the rain that freezes as it falls on the earth. I repeat, student, what is the meaning of sleet? The rain that freezes as it falls on the earth is called as sleet. Okay, students, so I hope this much must be clear to y'all. Okay. Moving ahead, students, now we will be learning, now only we have learned in detail about, student, air has weight. Now we will be learning in detail about, students, variation in air pressure. Air pressure is not uniform on all places on the earth's surface. What it means? Air pressure is not uniform. Uniform means what, student? Which is not same. Okay, so uniform means what? Which is not at all same. Okay, so air pressure is not uniform on all places on the earth's surface. Air pressure keeps on changing from time to time. So what happens from time to time? It keeps on changing. What keeps on changing? Air pressure. The altitude of a region, temperature of the air and amount of water vapor in the air are some factors influencing air pressure. Okay, so what are some factors which influence air pressure? Altitude of a region. Altitude, students, means what? It means height of a region. Okay, so altitude of a region, temperature of the air and amount of vapor, water vapor in the air. These are some factor which influences air pressure. Now one by one I'll be explaining, students. Altitude of the region and air pressure. The proportion of dust in the air, water vapor, heavy gases, etc. is higher in the air closer to the surface of the earth. So what it means, when all these things, okay, is high, when it is high, it's high in air when it is closer to the surface of the earth. So what happens when the proportion of dust in the air, water vapor, heavy gas, it is very high in the air. When it is very high in the air, when it is closer to the surface of the earth. Okay, then this proportion decreases with increasing altitude. Okay, so what happened after that? So this, because of that, this proportion, it becomes less. That means it becomes decreases. When it becomes decreases with increasing altitude. Altitude already, student, I have told you all, height. Okay, so what it means? This proportion decreases with increasing height. As one moves higher and higher from the surface of the earth, the air becomes thinner and thinner. So what it means, as someone moves higher and higher from the surface of the earth, okay, as one moves higher and higher. So what happens to the air? Air becomes thinner and thinner. Because of this, as a result, the air pressure decreases with increased altitude. So what happened because of this? Air pressure, it becomes less, it decreases with increasing altitude. Altitude, student, means what? Height. Okay, now here you can see, student, a diagram which has been given. It has been given in the diagram. Take a flying lantern. It is already there, student, in your textbook. You can also refer that also. Take a flying lantern. Tie an approximately 5-meter long thread to the flying lantern so that you can bring lantern down whenever required. So what is been taken over here? A flying lantern, it has been taken, and we have to do what? We have to tie 5-meter long thread, okay, where we have to tie to the flying lantern so that we can bring lantern whenever we require. After carefully reading the instructions given on the package of the lantern, open it and light the candle placed on it. Observe what happens. After some time, bring the lantern down with the help of the thread and put off the candle. Okay, so after some times, what we have to do? We have to bring the lantern down with the help of the thread and put off the candle. Then what happened after that? Did the flying lantern start ascending immediately after the candle was lit? Second question is, what would have happened to the flying lantern had the candle got extinguished after the lantern had got up in the air? Okay, so all this answers, student, we will come to know now. Okay, students, so this much I think so, student, you all must have understand. Okay, now till now what we have learned? We have learned in detail, students, about air has weight. We have also learned in detail, students, about the variations in air pressure. Then, student, we have just gone through this activity. Okay, students, now what is the explanation of this? We will come to know. Okay, student, so after going through that activity, what we have seen? We have seen that the air in the flying lantern gets heated once the candle is lit. So what it means? As and when the candle is been lit, the air in the flying lantern, it gets heated. Okay, that means it become heated. The hot air expands, becomes lighter and starts moving up. So as and when it is been lit, then it becomes heated. What happened to the hot air? It expands. After expanding, what happened? It becomes light and immediately it starts moving up. Therefore, the lantern is also lifted up towards the sky. So because it starts moving up, so lantern is also lifted up towards the sky. In nature too, a similar phenomenon occurs. So same thing is there in our nature too. Similar phenomenon occurs. Then temperature and air pressure are closely related. Temperature and air pressure both are closely related. Whenever the temperature is high, the air pressure is low. Always students keep in mind, whenever the temperature is high, so what happens about the air pressure that time? Air pressure is low that time. So as the temperature rises, the air gets heated, expands, and it becomes lighter. So what happens? So because the temperature rises, as it rises, the air, what happens to the air? It gets heated, it becomes expand, and then it becomes lighter. This lighter air in the vicinity of the Earth's surface starts moving up towards the sky. So this lighter air, what becomes? It in the vicinity of the Earth's surface, it moves up towards the sky. What moves up towards the sky? Lighter air. So because of this, as a result, the air pressure in such area decreases. So because of this, what happens? The air pressure in such area, it becomes decreases. Okay students, so this what we have learned in our today's video. What things we have learned? See students, we have learned 4 to 5 things. First thing, we have learned that air has weight. You must remember students, we have gone through that balloons. I have shown you all the balloons, okay, which was evenly inflated, and one which was being pierced and it was being pricked. Okay, so if you remember, we have gone through that. After that, we have learned about variations in air pressure. After going variations in air pressure, we have learned about altitude of the region. Altitude means what students? Height. Okay, and air pressure, and also we have learned about air temperature and air pressure. And one more thing student, we have done, we have gone through the activity which has been given in the textbook. Okay, in our textbook, the activity about the flying lantern, that also we have done. Okay students, so I hope this much must be clear to everyone. Still any doubt is there? If anything it's not been cleared, I request everyone to go through the video and gets the thing clear. Thank you so much. A very good morning, dear children. I hope you all are fine and safe with your family. Students, today in geography, we will be continuing with our same lesson, that is lesson number 4, and name of the lesson is air pressure. In our previous video, we have seen about balloon activity. We have also seen variations in air pressure and also factors that are influencing air pressure. Students, in our this video, we will be learning about temperature zones and pressure belts on the Earth's surface, equatorial low pressure belt, and mid-latitudinal high pressure belts. First students, we will be learning about temperature zone and pressure belts. Temperature zones and pressure belts are interrelated to each other. Okay, so temperature zone and pressure belt, they both are interrelated to each other, but the latitudinal extent of temperature zones is much larger while pressure belts are narrower. Okay, so temperature zone and pressure belts are interrelated, but latitudinal extent of temperature zone is much larger while pressure belts are narrower. You can see a student, the diagram which has been given. You can see here, you can see students, equator is there. Here you can see temperature zone. Here you can see torrid frigid zone, and here you can see students North Pole, and here there is South Pole. Same thing here also, temperature zone and frigid zone. Okay, moving to 4.2b diagram, students, you can see pressure belts and planetary bands. Okay, you can see over here there is equatorial low pressure belt, then there is mid latitudinal high pressure belt. Here it is subpolar low pressure belt, and here you can see polar high pressure belt. See figure 4.2a and b. Example, temperature zone extends from 23 degree 30 minutes to 66 degree 30 minutes. Okay students, so temperature zone, if you will see, it is from 23 degree to 30 minutes to 66 degree 30 minutes. Okay, compared to this, the air pressure belt has limited extent. It is generally up to 10 degree parallel. So it is up to, pressure belt is usually, it has limited extent and it is generally up to 10 degree parallel. The uneven distribution of temperatures influences the distribution of air pressure too. So uneven distribution, it means what? That is not same. Okay, it means it keeps on varying. The uneven distribution of temperature influences the distribution of air pressure also. This leads to the formation of low and high pressure belts horizontally between the equator and the poles. So because of uneven distribution of temperature, what happens? It influences distribution of air pressure also, and which leads to the formation of low and high pressure belts horizontally between the equator and the poles. Now we will be learning in detail about, students, pressure belts on the Earth's surface. The heat received from the sun is uneven in different regions. Okay, so whatever heat is been received from the sun is uneven in different regions. Hence, the distribution of the temperature is uneven from the equator to the poles. Because the heat received from the sun is uneven to the different regions, that's why the distribution of the temperature is also uneven from equator to both the poles, that is North Pole also and South Pole also. As a result, the temperature zones are being created. Okay, so because of this, temperature zones are being created. Now the first one which we will be learning, student, is equatorial low pressure belt. It is the first pressure belt. The sun rays can be perpendicular between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, so sun rays is perpendicular between whom? Between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. So the temperature is higher in this region. Why temperature is high in this region? Because sun rays is perpendicular between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Hence, air in this region gets heated, it expands, becomes lighter and moves towards the sky. Because the temperature is higher in this region, what happens? Air in this region gets heated, it expands, then it becomes lighter and then it moves towards the sky. As this process operates continuously, a low pressure belt gets formed in the central part of this region between parallels 5 degree north and 5 degree south. You can see here the students that in the diagram it has been given. Okay, so as this process operates continuously, a low pressure belt is being formed. Okay students, you can see here. You can see here students how equatorial low pressure belt gets formed. Okay, in the central part of this region between the parallel 5 degree north and 5 degree south. Moving ahead, second one is students, mid-latitudinal high pressure belts. The heated air becomes lighter, starts ascending, and after reaching higher altitudes moves towards the polar region, that is towards the north and south pole. Okay, so what happened? The heated air becomes lighter, starts ascending. Ascending means what, students, over? It means starts rising, and after reaching high altitudes, altitudes means what? Height. Okay, so after reaching high altitudes, it moves towards the polar region, that is towards the north pole and the south pole. Due to low temperature at high altitude, okay, so as and when we reach to the high altitude, the temperature is low, the air cools down and it becomes heavier. Okay, so the temperature is low at the high altitude, the air gets cool and it becomes heavier. This heavier air descends down in both the hemisphere in the region between 25 degree to 35 degree parallels. So now what happened? Due to low temperature at high altitude, the air cools down and then it becomes heavier. So this heavier air now, it descends down in both the hemisphere, that is between 25 degree to 35 degree parallel. This leads to the formation of high pressure belts in these parallels of latitudes in both the hemisphere. So what happened due to this? It leads to the formation of high pressure belt in these parallels of latitude in both the hemisphere. This air is dry, hence the region does not get rainfall. Because the air is dry, that's why this region is not getting any of the rainfall. Consequently, most of the hot deserts on the earth are found in these regions. Okay, so most of the hot deserts, if you will see on the earth, are mostly found in this region. You can see here, the students, the diagram which has been given. Okay, this air descends down in both the hemisphere in the region between 25 degree to 35 degree. Okay, students, parallel, you can see 25 degree and 35 degree. Okay, so this is what mid latitudinal high pressure belt. I hope, students, this much must be clear to y'all. Okay, so what we have learned today? We have learned today in detail about temperature zone and pressure belt. Okay, so in temperature zones and pressure belts, we have learned that they are interrelated to each other, but the latitudinal extent of temperature zone is much larger, while pressure belts are narrower. After that, we have learned about pressure belts on the earth's surface. Okay, here what we have seen? We have seen the heat received from the sun is uneven in different regions. Hence, the distribution of temperature is also uneven from the equator to the poles. Then we have learned the first pressure belt, that was equatorial low pressure belt. In equatorial low pressure belt, students, what we have learned? As we have learned, the sun rays can be perpendicular between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. So, the temperature is higher in this region. Hence, air in this region gets heated. It expands, becomes light and moves towards the sky. And this process is continuously, it has been operating. Low pressure belt is formed in central part of this region between parallels 5 degree north and 5 degree south. And at the end, we have learned the second pressure belt, which is called as mid-latitudinal high pressure belt. Here what we have seen? We have seen heated air becomes lighter, it starts ascending, and after reaching high altitude, it moves towards the polar region, that is towards the North Pole and South Pole. So in detail, we have learned about all these 4 things. I hope, students, this much must be clear to everyone. please go through the video, and if any doubt is there, you can again watch the whole video. Thank you so very much. A very good morning, dear children. I hope you all are fine and safe with your family. Students, today we will be doing lesson number 4, air pressure, which is the continuation of the previous 2 videos. If you remember, students, in our previous video, we have learned about equatorial low pressure belt and mid-latitudinal high pressure belts. In our today's video, we will be learning the third one pressure belt, which is called as subpolar low pressure belts. Due to Earth's curvature, the area between two parallels gets reduced as we move towards the poles. So what happened over here? Due to Earth's curvature, the area which is there between two parallels, what happened to that area? It gets reduced as we move towards the poles. This results in less friction of the air with the Earth's surface. So what happened because of this? It results into less friction of the air with the Earth's surface. Air in this region is thrown out because of this reduced friction and also because of the Earth's rotational motion. So the air which is there in this region, it is being thrown out. Why is it being thrown out? Because of this reduced friction and also because of Earth's rotational motion. So this leads to the development of a low pressure belt. This condition is observed in the area between 55 degree and 65 degree parallels in both the hemisphere. So where it is been observed? This condition is observed in the area between 55 degree and 65 degree parallels in both the hemisphere. Here students, you can see 55 degree and 65 degree. Okay. Moving to next one now. That is polar high pressure belts. What it is? In both the polar regions, the temperature is below 0 degrees Celsius throughout the year. Okay, so both the polar region, what is the temperature? It is below 0 degrees Celsius, that is throughout the year. Hence, the air is cold. Because it is below 0 degrees Celsius throughout the year, so air over there is cold. Air is very cold. As a result, high pressure belts get formed. Okay. So, because temperature is below 0 degrees Celsius throughout the year, therefore air is very cold, and as a result of this, high pressure belt gets formed. These are called as polar high pressure belts. They generally occupy the area between 80 degree and 90 degree parallels in both the hemisphere. Okay. So which area they occupy generally? They generally occupy the area between 80 degree and 90 degree parallels in both the hemispheres. Here students, you can see. Okay. Now we will be learning, students, oscillations of pressure belts. What it means? The duration and intensity of sun rays varies during particular periods of the year in both the hemisphere. Okay, so what happened? The duration and intensity of sun rays, it keeps on changing during particular periods of the year in both the hemisphere. Both the hemisphere means what? Northern and southern hemisphere. As a result, the location of the temperature zone and the pressure belts dependent on the sun's heat also vary. Okay. As the result, what happened? The location of temperature zone and the pressure belts dependent on the sun's heat, it also keeps on changing. This change is of the order of 5 degree to 7 degree towards north in Uttarayan and 5 degree to 7 degree south in Dakshiyanan. Okay, so what is Uttarayan, students? It is a period when the sun moves from south towards north, and Dakshinayan means what? It's a period when the sun moves from north to south. Okay, so this is called as oscillation of the pressure belts. So what is oscillation of pressure belt? The duration and intensity of the sun rays keeps on changing during particular period of the year in both the hemisphere. So because of this, location of temperature zone and pressure belt dependent on the sun's heat also vary. Also vary means what? Also changes. This changes of order of 5 degree to 7 degree towards north in Uttarayan and 5 degree to south, 7 degree south in Dakshinayan. This is called as oscillation of pressure belt. So students, I hope so this much at least must be clear to you all. The next which we will be learning now, students, is called as the major difference between temperature zones and pressure belts. Okay, the temperature zones are continuous and are spread from equator to the poles from torrid to frigid zone. Okay, so temperature zone, if you have seen the diagram, students, you can see it is continuous and it is spreading from equator to the poles from torrid to frigid zone. Pressure belts, on the other hand, what about pressure belts? Pressure belts are not continuous and areas of high and low pressure are found in different regions from the equator to the poles. Okay, so temperature zones are continuous and it is spread from equator to the poles, that is from torrid to frigid. On the other hand, pressure belts are not at all continuous and the areas of high and low pressures are found in different regions from equator to the poles. So what are the effects of air pressure? Effects of air pressure are as follows. First one is, students, origin of winds. Okay, so it leads to origin of winds, generation of storms, convectional type of rain, and air pressure affects breathing activity too. So these are the effects of air pressure, that is, it leads to origin of winds, generation of storms is there, convectional type of rain, and it affects breathing activity too. Now we will be learning, students, about isobars. What are isobars? The line that joins the places of equal pressure on the map is called as an isobar. So what is an isobar? It is a line which joins the places of equal pressure on the map is called as an isobar. Always remember, students, air pressure is measured in units of millibars. For this, an instrument is called barometer is been used. The air pressure at the earth's surface is measured with this instrument. Okay, so how air pressure is measured? It is measured in units of millibars. So there is an instrument to measure it, and what is the name of that instrument? It is called as a barometer. Okay, what is the use of barometer? What happens of this barometer? The air pressure at the earth's surface is measured with this instrument. Okay, so what has been measured? The air pressure at the earth's surface is measured with this kind of an instrument. Now let's recap, students, what we have learned in our today's video. We have learned about subpolar low pressure belts. Then we have learned about polar high pressure belts. Then we have learned about oscillation of pressure belts, effects of air pressure, isobar, and at the last we have learned about barometer. Okay, students, so here we have completed with our lesson number 4, that is air pressure. We have learned different kinds of pressure belts. We have also learned about isobar, barometer, etc. I hope, students, This much must be cleared with everyone. And if any doubt is there, I request everyone to again go through the video and get the doubts clear. Thank you so very much.